大家好啊，繼續同大家越洋買定離手啦，嚟到英國冠軍賽馬日轉播賽事，介紹下今日嘅嘉賓先啦。Let me introduce our guest speaker, Mr. John Blance. Hello, John. I'm happy to invite you again for the chat. You all good?
Hello, Shireen. Yeah, hey, Omar. Always nice to hear a bit of Cantonese again.
Yeah, 你好. Hello. Audience may be familiar with you, John, because in June I invited him for the Royal Escorts review, and your tips and comments are fantastic, John. Also, although you left Hong Kong, we still hear your voice as a guest in the English broadcast team for the UK races. So I know you are quite busy in these few days. Thank you very much for your time, and let's start, shall we?
No problem at all. Yeah, let's get going.
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about the long distance cup. John, do you think Stradivarius can bounce back, or any other threats of him in this race?
Well, I think Stradivarius is going to go very well. Obviously, he's the odds-on favourite. I thought he ran pretty well in the Prix-Foire and in the Arc, considering the trip is not his trip at all. It's a fairly quick backup, but he's got a good record in this race. Obviously, he was second in it last year at the Kew Gardens. He won it the year before. There's no horse of Kew Gardens ability in this race, so it's really just a case of whether Stradivarius is at his peak. The owners wanted to run him in the Arc. I'm not too sure John Gosden was that keen, but the owners wanted to go there. This is more his type of race, though. He's proven himself on the soft ground too. I quite like one at the price, though, each way, a horse called Dawn Patrol for Aidan O'Brien. Of course, the O'Brien runners didn't get the chance to run at Longchamp because there was a contaminated feed problem. So he's actually got quite a lot of runners on Saturday at Ascot. And Dawn Patrol ran very well in the Irish Derby behind Santiago earlier on this season. He then, I thought, pretty well actually in the St. Leger. He was sixth, but they went a bit of a stop-start gallop there. It didn't really suit him. He tried 2 miles last time out in Ireland. He stayed on really well. It's quite a long uphill straight at Ascot. If they've gone a good gallop, I think he'll be staying on. And I think if you're going to play the exotics there, Stradivarius has obviously got to be in your Quinella. But I think Dawn Patrol is going to be the other one to put in there. Maybe back to Dawn Patrol win in place, and then have those two, Stradivarius and Dawn Patrol, in the Quinella.
Good selection, John. So let's talk about the sprint stakes. Do you think is the price too short for Dream of Dreams?
Yes, in a word. I think he's got an interesting record at Ascot in the sense he's gone very well at the Royal Meeting. He's actually run 2 quite bad races on British Champions Day. He obviously won the big race at Haydock last time out of Group 1. Yes. He's clearly a very good horse, but I think at the prices, there's a bit of value in opposing him. I was quite keen on a horse called Ventura Rebel, who's been taken out, unfortunately, at a big price. One Master is probably the obvious way of opposing the favourite. This horse has had quite a busy last few weeks, but she had a pretty busy last few weeks in the run-up to this race last year, ran very well. Soft ground, not a problem. The way the race is run shouldn't be a problem either, and I think One Master will be second favourite. Not a great price, but I think is the obvious way to go here as an alternative to the favourite, who I think is opposable.
How about the old one, the T-Man, the 8-year-old one? How do you think of his chance? I think he has the class, right?
Which one's that? Sorry.
The Tin Man.
Oh, the Tin Man. Oh, yes. Well, the Tin Man's got a fantastic record in the race, and he ran pretty well in it last year. All grounds come alike to him. He's getting a bit. He gets a bit far back in his races now, but it's a good point in the sense that it's probably not as strong a race as renewals of this he's run well at. The Tin Man is so old. I can remember doing the simulcast in Hong Kong and talking about the Tin Man. So he's still around, and he's and I wouldn't totally put you off. In Brando ran a good race in the race last year as well. He's getting on a bit too, but I think One Master for me is probably the best way to go in this race. But if you wanted to bet one at the big price, I wouldn't put you off the Tin Man at all.
Okay, hopefully we can find out some horses with better price in this race. So for the fillies and mare stakes without Magical, do you think which horse is gonna win this race?
It's probably of all the races the one I've got the least strong opinion on. But Wonderful Tonight ran very well in France the other week. It was over a longer trip. She's coming back in trip, but she has got speed over 1.5 miles to get herself into a pretty good early position. She loves the soft ground. She's getting the 3-year-old allowance as well, so she's got a little bit less weight to carry than some of the older horses. So I think she's probably the way to go. Again, looking at the tissue prices in the UK at the moment, she's not a great price, but I think she's the most likely winner. Don't forget Dame Malio as well. Holly Doyle, the lady rider here, is having a fantastic time. She's just broken her own record for the amount of winners in a year. She's going to ride Dame Malio, and it would be great if she could win a Group 1 because she thoroughly deserves it.
Yeah, me too. And actually, I will keep my eyes on Holy Doyle because she is recently on fire, and I think this horse can bring her the first Group 1 victory. So,
well, it's funny. Well, I spoke to the Sky Sports Racing the other day when I was presenting, and he seems quite confident that she'll go well. And Ed Vaughan's finishing training at the end of the year, so it would be a lovely success for him if he could get a big race winner just before he finishes training.
Cool. Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. So for the Champions League, the team Aidan O'Brien has a very strong team. Do you think who has the best chance?
Well, obviously Magical's going to go well in the Champion Stakes, one would have thought. Very interested to see Serpentine run. He runs in the Champion Stakes, of course, winner of the Derby. Things haven't gone quite right for him. They were quite keen on his chance in the Arc, but he couldn't run because of the contaminated feed. Japan's on a bit of a recovery mission, but is a very, very classy horse and could run well. So, I mean, Magical is the horse that, you know, we all love to see because she goes so well at the meeting.
Yes, I think the Ballydoyle team is quite hard to beat, but any other contender in this race can beat them?
In the Champion Stakes?
Yes, the Champion Stakes.
Well, I like Lord North each way. I think he'll go very well. He ran really well the Prince of Wales Stakes. If you go to the At the Races website, you'll get a lot of sectional data and timing data, and he came home really, really strongly in that. He then ran at York in the Juddmonte, and he lost a shoe. So that was possibly why he didn't run as well, maybe as he could have done, although no horse was beating Gaiath that day. But I think at the possible prices, he'll go well. So I think he might be a good opposition to Magical. Magical and Lord North's the obvious quinella for me in that race.
Okay, thanks, John. So for the whole meeting, can you share with us your best bet and a long shot for us?
Well, long shots, Dawn Patrol in the 2-mile race. I also like Escobar in the QE2. Palace Pier will win the QE2, I would have thought. Very, very tough to beat. 2 great runs so far. The Revenant will also run well. He ran well in the race last year. He's been clearly prepared for it this year as well. Escobar, though, is a huge price. He's run 2 really good races in the big handicap, the Balmoral handicap, in the last 2 years. The mile on soft ground is ideal for him. He ran very well at Redcar the other week when I was up there calling them. That was over 7 furlongs. That's not his trip. The mile in soft ground, he was 66-1 in the betting this morning here in the UK when the declarations came through. I think he'll go okay. But Palace Pier and the Revenant are the 2 you want to build your exotics round. But I'd have Escobar in there as well. And I mentioned for one other, a horse called Raek in the Balmoral handicap, which is obviously the big field race. Ran a really big time figure when winning here over 7 furlongs a few weeks ago, up to the mile, the 1,600 meters. That shouldn't be a problem. He's got a light weight to carry here because he's still a young, improving horse. I think he's got more improvement to come, though. And he's going to be favoured, but he's going to be quite a decent price, around about 4 or 5 to 1. I think Raek will run very well in the Balmoral handicap as well.
Okay. So, John, thank you very much for your insights. I hope you will have a enjoyable weekend. Thank you very much. So, maybe we chat later. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.